So, in today's video, I want to go through the rest of the info that's been circulating around White Horse Adeptus, the new 4-star Yeloya, and the new artifact sets players have been dissecting over the last day. We already talked about Columbina in the previous video, so think of this as the second half of that conversation. Everything players are saying about the other characters connected to version 6.3. By the end of this video, you'll have a full picture of how the community feels, what details people are debating, the funny reactions, the concerns, the hopes, and the patterns players think they're seeing in these discussions. Before we jump in, quick reminder that everything we're talking about today is based on public community discussion, speculation, and what people are trying to piece together from scattered info. Nothing here is guaranteed or final, and things can absolutely change later. This is commentary. It's analysis. It's us trying to make sense of what everyone has been arguing about. Let's start with White Horse Adeptus, because she came out of nowhere and instantly became a huge talking point. The main idea floating around is that she might be a Geo character who scales with DF, and that alone made Goro enjoyers wake up from their graves. After years of having just one real DF scaling Geo carry, people are excited at the possibility of a second one who actually plays as a frontline DPS. But the reactions aren't all positive. A big chunk of players immediately pointed out how strange it is that Geo sword users keep getting locked into DF scaling, like the element can only produce albedo clones. There's a sense of déjà vu, new character, same formula. Then there's the question of exploration abilities. People can't get over the fact that she's literally an Adeptus who can transform into a horse, but current discussions suggest she has no special mobility skill. A ton of comments joked about how Durin lost flight, Columbina lost flight, and now, even the magical horse lady gets nothing. The running joke is basically, Natlon spoiled us too much, and now Nodcry is forcing us to walk like it's 2020 again. Beyond movement, players are trying to figure out what her actual combat role could be, since she's mentioned doing lunar crystallized damage. That pushed the idea that she's part of the new lunar ecosystem. Some players think she'll be used in Lunar Bloom-style teams. Others think she's a completely self-contained DPS. A few even said she sounds so straightforward, she could end up as a standard banner character. Nobody agrees on her ideal teams. Right now, she looks less like a universally flexible unit and more like another piece of the lunar puzzle. And that leads into one of the funniest criticisms. Characters who logically should synergize, like Columbina and White Horse, might not actually interact in any special way. People expected the Moon Goddess and the Celadone Mare to complement each other. So far, discussions don't really suggest that, and players are very confused by that disconnect. Now we can slide into the new 4-star Yeloya, because he added even more confusion. A lot of players didn't even know who he was at first. The first wave of comments was literally just, "Who is Yeloya?" Then people started digging through Flynn's voice lines and lore and remembered he's a Lightkeeper. Once players realized he wasn't the White Horse Adeptus, interest shifted to what his role might be. Since he's a Lightkeeper, some people think he might interact with overworld objects tied to that faction, but right now nobody has a solid idea. The only thing everyone keeps repeating is that he's a 4-star Geo character, and for whatever reason, he's being placed on White Horse's banner instead of Columbina's. That banner setup sparked a brand new wave of frustration. Players who want Columbina don't want to accidentally pull White Horse, but they do want Yeloya. Players who want White Horse don't want to risk pulling Columbina early on her banner. So both sides feel forced to reserve wishes very carefully, and a lot of players complained about that. The funniest comments were about Hoyover's 4-star marketing style. People joked that Yeloya will get one short trailer clip, one animation showcase, and then disappear from the spotlight until release, because that's exactly what keeps happening. And honestly, they're probably right. From characters, the conversation naturally moved to the new artifact sets. The Lunar Damage set for Columbina, and the Arcane set for Hexen's or adjacent characters. The Lunar set sparked mixed reactions immediately. Many players don't like the idea of a set that only buffs lunar reactions because it feels too restrictive. They're worried Columbina will become another character who needs her own set to function, but doesn't bring much outside of Lunar Bloom or Lunar Crystallized teams. Others pointed out that Notgrai already has a strong 5-star DPS set, so adding another one focused purely on lunar mechanics feels redundant. One of the funniest reactions came from someone asking if every region is now getting its own national team because so many Notgrai characters seem locked into very specific mechanical ecosystems. On the other hand, the Arcane set actually got a lot of positive attention. Players believe this set is tied to Hexenser characters like Durin, Mona, Fiskal, Alice, and Nicole. It's said to offer crit and ATK, and people immediately noted how badly some of those characters need a modern, well-scaling set. Durin especially gets mentioned constantly. People say he needs something like 2,500 ADK to really function, so anything that helps him reach those numbers is welcome. The Arcane set gives people hope that older Mondstadt magic users will finally get something meaningful that actually fits their identity. The only strange part is this. If Columbina and Whitehorse both get specialized sets, where does that leave Arca? A lot of players are now unsure if he'll even get his own set in this cycle, because the update already feels overloaded with new gear. If we zoom out and look at the community sentiment as a whole, the overall feeling is a mix of amusement, frustration, curiosity, and exhaustion. Many players are tired of cryptic comments where every answer is basically, yes, but a little bit problem. These unclear confirmations have become memes at this point, with people calling them riddles instead of leaks. Others are genuinely disappointed that Notgrai seems to have dropped exploration gimmicks entirely. After Natlon gave players new traversal tools, losing all of that right after feels like a downgrade. Some even said this is the first time a nation actually cured their pulling addiction because the new characters feel more restricted and less exciting to play, even if they're strong on paper. At the same time, there's still a lot of hope. People want to see how these characters actually function in real gameplay. Many are rooting for Whitehorse and Yeloya specifically because they come from lore that's been around for years. And the artifact sets might unlock interesting synergies once we see their real numbers and effects. The only thing everyone agrees on is that we need to wait and see how all of this fits together because right now we're working with community guesses, past patterns, and a lot of incomplete pieces. So yeah, that's the full picture on Whitehorse, Yeloya, and the new artifact sets according to community discussions right now. I'm curious what you think. Are you interested in Whitehorse as a DF scaling Geo DPS? Do you like the idea of an arcane set for Durin and Fiskal? And how do you feel about exploration abilities basically disappearing after Natlon? Let me know in the comments because honestly, the discussion around these characters has been more entertaining than anything else lately. If you want more breakdowns like this, more commentary on upcoming characters, and more community-based analysis, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video.